Malnutrition in Kenya remains a big public health problem. Kenya has high stunting rates of 26% due to the consumption of foods low in fiber and high in fats and sugars.
Malnutrition is both when we talk of overnutrition, that is eating too much than you require, or undernutrition, where the food that you're eating is not providing the nutrients you require.
However, Kenya has made considerable progress towards achieving the World Health Assembly nutrition targets, but the burden of malnutrition is still high and continues to be the single greatest contributor to child mortality. Food fortification is among the high-impact nutrition interventions identified by the Ministry of Health to reduce malnutrition in Kenya.
So this project is about food fortification, where we are adding vitamins and minerals to flour, oil and salt, so that we can get those nutrients in the foods that we commonly eat in our homes. The nutrition situation in the country, we start with stunting. Stunting is where the child is not growing as they should in terms of height, and more so the brain. So children who are born stunted may not grow well, or they may have a brain that is not well developed. So these nutrients are required for the development of the brain and also for the stature of the child.
Research has shown that only large millers fortify their maize flour and account for only 40% the maize flour consumed in the country, leaving a 60% gap. In this regard, strengthening the Kenya National Food Fortification Program was launched to improve the health and nutritional status of the poor and vulnerable groups.
I very much appreciate the Kenyan government, the Ministry of Health, for putting in place a favorable legal framework which makes this fortification of maize and wheat flours mandatory. You've recognized the importance of this for your people, which is very important. So this will make the implementation in principle of this project easier and achieve its objectives within the planned period.
The 6-year program will be implemented by the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology in partnership with the Ministry of Health and private sector partners, European Union being one of them.
I'm very happy to be here today as an actor in this project, where the university really has taken the lead to present to us a proposal on food fortification. It's another activity for the EU to support in Kenya. We have quite a large portfolio focusing on nutrition. I mean, nutrition is the main element of the EU's engagement in Kenya. Very happy to see the university be part of this. It's a new partner for us. We've been working with the ministry for a long time, notably on nutrition, not only with the ministry but also with other development partners, UN agencies. For a long time we have had nutrition high on our agenda. We see the benefits already, as was mentioned this morning. I think there's more awareness in the country throughout already that nutrition is important, both from the health side as well as from the agricultural side. So we're very proud actually to be part of this initiative.
Most fortified flours are beyond the reach of the poor and vulnerable households who source their flour from micro, small and medium-scale millers, most of whom lack the capacity to fortify flours to improve micronutrient status of populations where they operate.
The project is about strengthening the existing Kenya National Food Fortification Program. As you all know, that it's a law by Kenyan government right now that all maize flour and wheat flour must be fortified with micronutrients. This stems because from the fact that for the last probably 40 years, malnutrition has been a major problem within the country, and hidden hunger is a big problem for us. So we suffer a lot of what we call protein energy malnutrition, but also micronutrient deficiencies. We eat a lot of maize, but maize in the market is mostly polished and jammed, meaning that you lose the key micronutrients which are required, particularly the micronutrients of public health concern, that is iron, zinc and the B vitamins. So in this particular case, we chose to do this because since 2012 the government made it mandatory for all the maize flour and wheat flour to be fortified. We chose to go the direction of maize flour because of the widespread utilization of maize flour in the country, and we chose to be able to not reinvent the wheel. We look at the existing system, but try to strengthen the system. That's why the title is Strengthening the Kenya National Food Fortification Program.
Women, girls, and children are at risk of malnutrition, especially iron and protein deficiency. How will this group benefit from this program?
Stunting requires the multi-sectoral approach, which we are trying to implement right now, involving everybody and ensuring that children, the mothers, when they are pregnant, they are getting what they require, they are protected, and children, as they are born, they are breastfed. And if breastfeeding continues and proper complementary feeding continues, then we shall reduce the levels of stunting further. Also, when you talk about nutrition, we are looking at the breastfeeding rates. That's one of the indicators. We look at exclusive breastfeeding, that is feeding a child with only breast milk for the first 6 months of their life. We want to ensure that people do not introduce other foods which are not healthy because they affect the development of children. And we've been able to increase our exclusive breastfeeding from less than 30% to 62%. That is double. So we are hoping that we can go further and reach about 80%.
Drought is a major factor for malnutrition, with 11% underweight children. Are there any plans by the government to curb this?
In this country, we have cases of cases of severe malnutrition and underweight and wasting. For instance, our stunting level in this country is 26. Although we have improved from 36 in the last years to 26, but still globally that is very high. If we look at our wasting, is around 11%, and our wasting is around 11%, and our underweight is around 4%. And this globally is really high figures. And this is due to, probably due to poor diet, poverty, the drought that we experience, and I think other social-cultural issues that influence, malnutrition in this country. So that's why we have this program. This is a project that will fortify foods, that we add elements that are important to the body, like iron, vitamins, zinc, into the foods that we eat, especially the maize flour, the salt, in some cases the oil, and the sugar that we take. So this will now take care of those invisible, deficiencies in the children. And that's why this launch of this program, in partnership with JKUAT, supported and funded by the European Union, is a very exciting program.
With 5 key areas of focus, the program also aims to put up an accredited laboratory for analysis of micronutrients.
We are setting up a lab, and this is the most important part. The lab will be monitoring how millers are fortifying, how this practice is widespread, and the effectiveness of actually this, whether people are underdosing or overdosing, so that we can provide corrective action.
Food fortification with single or multiple micronutrients has been reported to improve nutrition and health standards of entire populations.